Start by pressing the legs forward into the straps, extending the hips and knees, keeping the ankles plantar flexed, and flex the hips and knees to return the carriage back in, maintaining your laterally rotated position. Exhale to press forward, inhale to flex back in. Only let the legs lower as much as the pelvis and spine can stay neutral, and inhale as you flex back in, avoid the tailbone curling off of the mat. Maintain the laterally rotated position of the hips, watching not to over abduct through the legs. Inhale to flex at the hips and extend the legs out to the side. Exhale to circle the legs down and adducting the legs together. As you extend the legs, keep the tension in the straps and keep the pelvis and spine neutral, pulling the legs together at the bottom. Reverse the frog by abducting the legs apart first, allowing the legs to extend and lengthen, flexing at the hips. Pull the legs back into the frog, bending the hips and knees, and then push the legs forward, adducting the legs together. Maintain the lateral rotated position through the hips throughout, and as you circle the legs in both directions, make sure to avoid hyperextending or flexing through the low back and pelvis. Keeping lateral rotation, flex the hips and knees to move the carriage down, extend the legs out to the side, abducting the legs, circle the legs down and around, pulling the legs back together. As you inhale, flex the hips and knees and extend the legs out to the side. Exhale to press the legs down, pulling the legs back together. This can also be done in the reverse, so the legs open apart on your inhale, and in that V position, come up into hip flexion, pull the legs into the frog position on your exhale and press the legs forward. As you're doing the frog circles, we want to maintain a neutral spine and pelvis, avoiding hyperextension and lumbar flexion. This also can be a 4-part breath by adding a lift and lower. So lifting the legs up, pulling into the frog, then extending the legs out to the side and circling around and doing the reverse. Maintaining equal tension in both straps, simultaneously abduct one leg out to the side as the other leg flexes at the knee and hip, bringing the heel towards the center of the body. Alternate sides each time. Inhale as you come into the stag position with the one leg straight out to the side and the other leg flexed in the frog position. Exhale to press through the straps to extend the hips equally out to the diagonal line where you started. The challenge here is on pelvis stability, to avoid rotation or hitching of one side or the other, and keeping attention in the lateral rotators and the hip extensors throughout the exercise. This is a coordination challenge as well that progresses from the frog. Starting in a straight leg, laterally rotated position, abduct the legs apart, then bring the legs up into hip flexion, lower the legs down into hip extension, keeping the V shape, and adduct the legs back together. Inhale as the legs open and lengthen to flex up, and exhale to lower the legs extending and bring the legs back together, adducting. As you're moving through this exercise, make sure that the spine and pelvis stay neutral, deepening the abdominals as the legs extend down, lowering only as low as the pelvis can maintain its neutral. Try to avoid overstretching the legs apart too wide where the pelvis is no longer stable. Keep the ankles plantar flexed throughout the exercise.